turns out it's possible to enrich your OpenTelemetry data, metrics, logs, or traces, whatever it happens to be. In our case, we're going to use logs, but you can enrich that data with a CSV file. So you do a live lookup against the CSV file and pull in extra fields to enrich the log lines. That's exactly what we're going to do in this video, so let's get straight to it. The first thing you're going to need to do is download OCB. That's a binary, so if you go to the OpenTelemetry Collector Releases page and find the binary that you need for your operating system, because we need to build our own collector distribution, so you can't just use something like the contrib distribution. The component we're going to use is the lookup processor, gratefully created by BindPlane. So we're going to use that component in our custom built collector. So let's first build our custom collector. If I show you the manifest file, that's what you need to create this file to define your own collector. At the top here, this is all optional, but it just gives your collector a name, a description, where we're going to output the binary once we build it, and then the components. So you can see I've got a very basic one here. It's got a single receiver, which is the file log receiver. It's got a single processor, which is the lookup processor from BindPlane, and a single exporter, which is the debug exporter. Where did I get this from? Because it looks a little bit like magic. I'm just saying here it is. But basically, I went to package.go.dev and typed in lookup processor, and it gives me what I need to paste in here for the Go module. And then for the version 1.82.0, I actually looked at the lookup processor repo, and you can see they've tagged releases with different versions. So if I do version 1.82.0. Okay, so we've got our collector defined, and now it's time to build it, which, of course, as you downloaded the OCB binary, we can just pass it a config, the manifest file, and it should go away as long as you've got Go installed and build out your binary. So it's done. There we go, otel call dev. So if I run now, and we'll notice this is a different config file. This is actually the collector config file, which I'll show you in a moment. So there was manifest.yaml, which was to build our collector. This is now running our collector. Okay, so at the moment, we're just reading a log file. This isn't going to make much sense in terms of the CSV until I show you the CSV. So first, let's have a look at the log file. We've got an info line here that says hello world, and a component equals front end. Component equals middleware, and component equals front end again. Or actually, let's change this to be back end. Now, as my company, I want to know other things about these tiers, front end, middleware, and back end, and I have that in a CSV file. I have who owns it, the support level, and so on and so forth. So this is what it looks like. We've got a header row of component, responsible team, owner, and support tier, and you can see component. Where the component is front end, it's owned by Team A. The owner, the person, is Alice, and the support tier is Tier 1. Now, whatever that means to my organization, obviously this is just a made-up example. The back end is owned by Team B. It's owned by Bob at example.com, and this is presumably a lower level support tier, a Tier 2. So what I now want to do, you'll understand, is match where I find a component of front end. I want to put all of this information, like the responsible team, the owner, and the support tier, onto the log line as it flows through the collector, because then I can alert on this, I can sample this, it's a lot more useful to me in my observability backend. So how do we arrange to get all of this done? Okay, let's have a look at this again. We've got no special stuff in here. Let's have a look at this version though. Again, we're reading file.log. Again, we're starting at the beginning just for this video, but now we are parsing out some data. So what we need to do as a first step is grab this from the log line and push it into its own key value attribute on the log entry. And that's what this does. We look for component equals in the body, and then we extract everything. This /s is a regex that says anything that's not a white space, and we call it the same. We call it component. Now that is important, the bit in the pointy brackets, because that needs to match this field here. When we've pulled that out into its own attribute, then we can look up in the CSV file. So let me show you this first of all. Component config.yaml.full. Step 1, you'll notice here, info, this is our logline, and we've got some attributes. Component has been extracted as backend, and what has happened in the processing step, we've looked for the attributes, and when we find the field component, we match to the CSV on that field. So where there is component backend, we've got a match. Perfect. Then the lookup processor automatically goes to the CSV file and says, aha, I've got some more information that we want to attach as attributes, key value pairs, and the key is always the top row, responsible team, team B, owner, Bob, support tier, tier 2. And that's precisely what you're seeing down here. So automatically, just because we have a match on the log line, we've now enriched our log files with new attributes dynamically from the CSV file. And I'm really grateful to BindPlane for creating this processor and making this available to the community, because it opens up so many more opportunities. Step 1, extract the pieces of the log line that you want as separate attributes, and then use the lookup processor on that particular field to do the match. I hope this was useful. As always, give me a like, a thumbs up, ring the bell, all that good stuff. I'll see you again soon for more OpenTelemetry, DevOps, and observability content. Bye.